Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs spoke today. We're going to hear from the Eagles later on today. They speak one more time tomorrow, the players do. The coaches speak one more time after that. And then nothing but the football remains for the Super Bowl 57 week here in Arizona. And we're thrilled not only to bring our show from Los Angeles to here, and when we do that, we also bring our Emmy Award-winning coverage of Patrick Mahomes' ankle. Now, you know that we have had Ankle Watch 2023 in a way that I would put our ankle coverage up against anybody else. And we don't have like orthopedic surgeons on our program. We don't do that sort of injury conversation. No. What we do is just focus on the ankle itself. With any video that could be possibly shot by anybody that's actually at these press conferences. As you know, we were the first to show you how Mahomes is going to be fine in the AFC Championship game in the way that he got up and down from a riser very similar to the one that our set is built on right here. At any rate, I have set up our Ankle Watch coverage by reminding everybody how expert we are at it, and the fact that Patrick Mahomes spoke again about his ankle today. I could have easily just thrown to the soundbite, but I wanted to give ourselves a pat on the back. Here's what Patrick Mahomes had to say about his readiness for Super Bowl 57 on that supposedly highly sprained ankle.
Last week you had mentioned that the ankle was preventing you from really stopping with some of the pain. Where are you at, and how close do you feel like you are to just doing everything that you'd be able to normally do with the injury?
Yeah, I don't think you'll know exactly until you get to game day. I'm definitely in a better spot. I definitely can move around better than I was moving last week or 2 weeks ago. And so it's just trying to continue to get the treatment and the rehab and get to as close as I can to 100%, and then rely on some adrenaline to let me do a little bit extra when I'm on the field. So it's going to be definitely better, more mobile, be able to move around a little bit better for sure. And then we'll see on game day how close to 100% I can be.
All right, I take two things from that. The first thing I take from it is that we are so damn bored waiting for the Super Bowl to actually kick off that I wouldn't be surprised if somebody actually takes a microphone and sticks it in Patrick Mahomes' ankle and starts to interview the bone itself.
I would do that.
And just like, so tell me, how do the ligaments feel? Yep. What are we going to honestly, I personally think that there's not going to be any problem.
Unless he gets hit on it, I can't imagine that he's not going to be 100% and the Patrick Mahomes MVP we've seen all year.
Andy Reid said that the entire playbook is available.
I definitely don't think he's going to be 100%, though. I was watching today. Still a little bit of...
What'd you see?
Oh. Well,
TJ, if you're going to bring...
Well,
any information to the table for our Emmy Award-winning ankle coverage, you understand it's a very high bar. So what are you talking about?
I understand that, and I use my years of working at Foot Locker. Like I told you, I know about supination of the foot. So the way I watched his gait, he didn't look 100%. He looked like he might be about 85, but well enough to continue on with the game.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Very good. Next,
years working at
we
Foot
should
Locker.
we should have a like a referee jersey available for you to put that stuff on.
I have one.
I left.
I brought
mine at
one.
home, too.
Very good. Did you really bring one?
Yeah, I have a ref jersey.
Of course he does.
He didn't bring it.
I have a Rich. I packed
it?
a lot. I drove out.
He drove a car in here, man.
I got a lot of stuff with me.
I honestly think this
That's
is
how we're
not going to
getting
be an
the cactus
issue. I think
No,
he's actually going to be better than we saw in the AFC Championship game, and I don't think this is an issue at all. And now we're just focused on legacy questions for him, quite frankly. And that is, he going to show up to this game and win this football game and get one closer to Tom Brady? Joe Montana, who's won 4 times and used to have the standard set in this department, is going to join us in hour number 2. But here's what Mahomes asked. I got what he was asked about. What's at stake? Is that what he was asked? Because what he's chasing. There we go. Which is an interesting choice of words, since apparently, he's got a bad.
Well, it's
ankle.
a must-win game, Rich.
Okay, here's what he said.
What are you chasing?
What I'm chasing is I never say I'm chasing a player. I'm chasing that I don't want to have any regrets when I step off this football field. And I understand how lucky I am to be in this organization. I understand how lucky I am to play with guys that are going to be Hall of Famers. And so when I look back at the end of my career, I don't want to look back and be like, man, I didn't give everything I have to win Super Bowls because of the great people I have around me. And so when I get done with my career, I just want to make sure that I know that I gave everything I had on that football field.
He's chasing Brady. I mean, that's it. That's what every quarterback's chasing, but he's still in the part of his career where it's absurd to sit here and say I'm chasing Tom Brady because he's not even 28 years old. This is what the question that we're referring to, or the media is referring to, and asking him who he's chasing. Right now, all he's doing is just chasing a championship and start stacking them. And then once he stacks enough of them, that's when he can potentially turn his attention and say he's hitting this sort of button by saying, I'm going after Tom Brady. Can you imagine if he came out and said this? I'm chasing Tom Brady right now. I mean, like that's who he's chasing.
I'd respect it. I'd respect the moxie. But look, he's in year 6, year 5 as a starter. Like, this is where he's at, and he's had tremendous success early on. So this is going to be the conversation the rest of his career.
I was talking to DP on his show today about young quarterbacks who have been that successful at this age. So you could sit here and say, who can actually run down Tom Brady or get in his area code not named Patrick Mahomes? And, so there's 2 of those. I'll take the other one first, which is which other quarterback that's young enough and good enough right now and has the ability to potentially start winning and be so generationally talented and surrounded by a talent that can do it. Obviously, that's Joe Burrow in my estimation. Joe's the only other one who can start to get back to Super Bowls and start to win. He's made 2 AFC championship games in a row. And obviously, we'll see what happens once he gets totally paid to the rest of that roster. But other than him, I don't know who else could start to put seasons together to get to the Super Bowl, and you could sit here and assume he can get to the Super Bowl enough other than Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes is the only one with a win right now of all these young Turk quarterbacks. So that's one. And the other one is another guy who I thought had a chance at some point to start to get in this direction and had, like Mahomes, a chance to get closer to Brady by actually beating him in the Super Bowl is Russell Wilson. Yeah. Everybody kind of forgets because of what just happened with the Broncos Nation Country Lex Ride disastrous year in Denver. But Russ came out of the gate and started winning division titles, and he started winning NFC championship games. He was the guy that would get into the divisional round every year, either by being the 1 seed and getting to the divisional round or winning a couple playoff games, a wild card game, either at home or on the road. And he had that going on. And he really did.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it right now. So his first 9 years in the league, he won 98 games.
Right.
267 touchdowns. Obviously won a Super Bowl, been to another one.
Won 2 Super Bowls.
He made 8 Pro Bowls in 9 years. I mean, Russell Wilson has every accolade that you could possibly, except for an MVP. And that's a 9-year run. That's not just the first 5.
It was a spectacular first few years of his career. And you said 9-year run, and you take a look at the first 5 years of his career, and he was on a path.
Oh yeah.
And the question is, is Mahomes going to be part of a franchise where suddenly that path starts to go a little bit wayward and he's going to wind up somewhere else in his 30s? Of course not. This guy is going to be like Brady, where he's going to be with this team for a very long time. And I doubt there's going to be any fall off. I don't sit here and think in any way, shape, or form that if he ever decides in his mind's eye, I'm going to chase Tom Brady, he can do it. Now, there is the Philadelphia Eagles standing in his way this year. And if he does not win this one, then obviously he will still only have one. And Brady can just sit back and start smoking cigars like he's the 72 Dolphins, and start popping champagne corks. That's the way this is going to go from now on.
He's turning to Mercury Morris now?
That's what I truly believe this is the new conversation. Again, the conversation used to be, can somebody go chase down our second-hour guest in Joe Montana and Terry Bradshaw? And now the conversation is, who are you chasing? And it's him. And, we have once again led the show with Patrick Mahomes, and I'm sure Philadelphia Eagles fans are like, what gives on that front? Don't worry. We're going to give your team a ton of due by asking all of these experts, because they have hoisted this trophy to my left, if they think the Philadelphia Eagles are going to win this football game. And I bet you, Chris, when it's all said and done at the end of the week, when you tally up all the people who think the Eagles are going to win, or who's going to win the Super Bowl, I think the Eagles might wind up with more people saying that they're going to win than not. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.